It was Beatles, Abbey Road.
The first record that I ever bought was Roy Orbison. Probably, I don't know, I heard him and I had to have it.
The first album I ever bought was Led Zeppelin 2, back in like 5th grade. It was very good. My favorite album.
The first record album I ever bought was Leon Russell and the Shelter People, back in 1970 probably.
The only one I can remember is probably the Bones and Roses double Grateful Dead album.
I suspect it was Sam and Sham and the Pharaohs.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
The itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
Chris Christopherson, Why Me Lord.
Okay, the first album I ever purchased was a copy of Queen's Night at the Opera.
Beyond in the Belmonts.
I think it was Kelly Clarkson.
I believe it was Iron Maiden.
First album I bought was probably Weird Al album.
It was a Process self-titled 7-inch.
Cindy Lauper record that I got when I was like 10, and I played it over and over again on a little Pink Princess record player that I had that I could carry around. I loved it, and my love has never stopped for buying records.
It was the Beatles, Meet the Beatles.
Days of Future Past by the Blues. The Eagles, the greatest hits.
Sesame Street's best hits. My favorite song I think was Rubber Ducky and Ernie in the bathtub. I probably drove my dad nuts with that. I think he still has that somewhere.
Like one of the first most important ones to me was a Green Day CD that I got.
I bought the Weezer Blue album. It was the first album that I ever bought.
I won, in a door prize at a restaurant. I won an album by the Coasters that had Charlie Brown on it. And that was a totally cool song because you could memorize the lyrics and sing it along all the time. So that was the first record I ever had.
The first album I bought was by Snoop Dogg called Doggy Style.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles.
When I was young in this place, there was a record store called Hayes Music, and what I loved about Hayes Music was I walked in the door and they knew what I'd be interested in this week, and they'd tell me what was going. They knew me, and that was what was so cool because they knew me, and I didn't have to go thumb through all the bins. I walked in and they could help me with whatever I needed. It's just that personal touch.
Because it's supporting the music, the artists, and just that classic sound that we, where it all started, where it all began.
Indie record stores are important because that's where I started with indie record store. I come from the time when you used to be able to come to a record store, there was little booths so you could get the record and you could sit in a booth with earphones and listen to the record. And then Tower kind of came out of that, and then it was Woolworths, and I just love them. It's kind of resurgent with vinyl and stuff like that. I have a lot of vinyl. Probably 200 record stores. So.
Indie record stores are important because if we couldn't get our music locally, then we'd have to go online and download and steal. And we want to support Mike and his business here because it's great. He's got a great environment, and Record Store Day is a lot of fun, and so are all his promotions. That's why you got to support your record store.
The reason that independent record stores are so important, especially in this day and age of corporate takeover, is that the little guy's getting squeezed out, and we need to support the little guy as much as possible.
To get those tunes from the artist to the people, you need a conduit, you need communication, and a place like this here, with somebody like Mike that I can chew the fat with and talk about people, and maybe hum a bar or two, and he can tell me what in the world I'm talking about, what I'm looking for. It's that human contact. That's what we need.
Vinyl junkie, and I've been picking up vinyl for about 35, 40 years, so need a place to buy it.
It's good for the business of the town, it's good for the business owner, and you don't have to mess with computers and online and reboot and this and that.
Record stores are important because you hear music. What is life without music? Not much. It's like life without books. Not much.
Because every time I walk in, they know my name and they know what I like, and they will order it for me if they don't have it, and it makes me feel like I matter when I come in here.
Because you find records that you'll never find on CD.
Because I enjoy listening to music.
Because they're local, you're supporting a local business. It's not just a big chain store you're going to. And they also support more local artists.
Well, it's interesting because one reason is because of the connection between independent record stores and local artists and the local scene, and the availability and distribution of local artists. You know, you can't like go into some big chain record store and pick up, you know, some underground bands like first record, you know. And it's good for the community, and I don't know, I just have a special place for walking into the store and recognizing the dude behind the counter and him or her knowing like what kind of music I like and talking about new things coming out. It's kind of a camaraderie and fits in with the word community.
Independent record stores are great. I think it's nice to be able to go in and talk to somebody that knows the music and can help you out and share your love for music instead of just pushing some buttons on a computer and not having the personality there. I think they need to thrive and survive.
You come in here and it's like the most wonderful place in the world. All the music that you could think of, and if you can't find it, they'll order it for you. It's independent record, music stores are the greatest thing. The posters, the atmosphere, the whole thing is great. And it's a great experience. And everybody's helpful and wonderful, and I think that's about all I can say, except for I love it.
Well, for me as an artist, I like being able to come in and look at the old album art that you don't really see on CDs. You've just got that big format, and I just like the way it's been preserved in the old records, and so it's really influenced me. So I really like that it's been preserved in the independent record stores.
Why go anywhere else when you can come here in Ukiah and go to Dig Music? They have everything you need, and Record Store Day rocks.
Well, everyone is so much more friendly, and they're just really attentive to whatever you need. And if you go to a big box store, they're just like, oh, no, we're not going to order that for you. We already have everything we need. Everyone's just nicer.
I think independent record stores are important because people need their music, and I really like to listen to music a lot. And I think people should just learn about music more.
The more independent control we have about stuff like media and what we buy and what we entertain ourselves with, the more choices we end up having. If it's all from on high, then they decide what's going to be in the stores and we don't get to decide. This is a very important kind of store to have here and in every other town. So that's why we support it.
I think they're important to support the community and to support, make the money, keep the money in the community and keep independent things secure. So people like Walmart and the big companies don't make all the money.
When CD stores go under because nobody's buying the CDs anymore, not only are the artists suffering, but the CD stores are suffering. And so it's just, if people don't buy music, then the artists can't make a living off it, and so there's no more music to get. So the whole thing comes crashing down, and it's wrong, It's completely wrong.
Well, it's the only place you can get good music, I know that for sure. Something that's classic, offbeat, something new, turn you on to a new sound. You're not going to get that from, Sam Goody at the mall.
Because they feed the passion for creating music, and music is so vital to the human spirit.
Because they supply me with quality CDs, and it's conveniently located in downtown Ukiah.